All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are trying to simplify a fraction once again. It is very complex, and now they have gone and changed it on us. We have variables instead of just numbers. Specifically, I am concerned about this guy down here because I have a q and a 2 as my two denominators. I know I need to combine them using a common denominator, but what is my common denominator when I have variables rather? Well, it's actually simpler than when we just have regular numbers, because you cannot find a common denominator between a variable and a number except by just multiplying them by each other. So we take the q, we take the 2, and we say our common denominator is going to be 2 times q. So for this first one on the left here, I have to multiply by 2 over 2 to get to 2q. And on the right, I have to multiply by q over q to get to 2q as my denominator. And let's see what happens. 3 over g, all of that over 8 over 2q plus 9q over 2q. And so that simplifies because we have common denominators. See, those guys right there are common denominators. So this will all be able to be simplified by saying 3 over g divided by 8 plus 9q over 2q. Then, from there, I can do my standard rule that I usually use. Let's find a new color. Let's say these guys times these guys. The outsides become my numerator. The insides become my denominator. And I have 3 times 2q is my numerator over g times, do not forget the parentheses here, 8 plus 9q. Okay, I'm going to give myself some more space. The numerator there, 3 times, so first of all, before I look to multiply anything, I look for common denominators. I've got all of these things here. I've got a 3, I've got a 2q, I've got a g, I've got an 8 plus 9q, and none of them have common factors. One of them is just a variable, one of them is a number, one of them is a number and a variable, one of them is this big 8 plus 9q. There are no common factors here, so all we're going to do is multiply across. And so we wind up with 3 times 2q is just 6q. And g times 8 plus 9q, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my distributive property, g times 8, g times 9q, and I'm using my magic pen again, which I should not be doing, sorry. Remember the numerator, 3 times 2q is 6q, and my denominator, I'm going to use the distributive property, g times 8, g times 9q, and I get g times 8 is 8g, g times 9q is 9gq, and the plus sign stays there, so I get gq over 8g plus 9gq, and there is nothing else I can do. This is as simple as I can get it, and so that is going to be my answer.